G'day lads, and welcome to my first race in around 11 months, and of course first league race on F1 25. Here we are in Lads Motorsport. We're in the reverse grid enduro section of the series right now, reverse championship order that is, and I started it towards the middle because I'm a reserve, and there are two classes here. Unfortunately at turn 1 there was a major collision and pile up involving three of us, and I got a 10-second penalty, which was a pretty unfortunate way to start my return, and it took ages to turn around as well because of the banking and not wanting to run into each other. And unfortunately for Dito, he gets disqualified for standing still too long, I imagine, which is a horrendous luck. Let's look at that again in slow motion. There was contact with Quiet, Curtis and Dutch, I believe 3 wide. I may have been able to avoid it, but there was an Alpine on the outside going a bit lower on the banking. And yeah, that was Jaden, I believe, and nothing I could really do there. We'll look from the theatre angle here, and yeah, pile up. Surprisingly, no one retires like with damage, and very few bits of damage as well, so that was fortunate. But then I sustained my own damage here off that curb, luckily not to lose a wheel actually, and ultimately I would pit a couple of laps later. Let's have a look at this again. Just got on that curb and spat me out into the wall. So not a great start, pretty ignominious start to my return here. Having to serve the 10-second penalty in the pit stop with the wing change as well. It was a very long time sitting still, and I was casting my eye to the mini-map there to see whether I was going to get lapped at this early stage. It would have been quite embarrassing, to go a lap down on lap 3 of 72. It would really have been quite poor, and there you can see the traffic coming around the banked infield turn there. So only about 2 corners behind me, thankfully I was able to stay on the lead lap with a safety car deploying, putting me on the back of the field, still in the early portion of the race. So I wasn't going to be lonely for too long. And as we got going again, it was Daz directly in front of me. He had a drive through though, so he didn't really defend this, and I was able to blast down the inside there with a bit of help from the battery and set off in 13th place. My teammate also had some issues early on, but he forged his way ahead towards the front. Another safety car a few laps later for a car in the wall there to the right. It's Zucker in the Alpine. We got going again, and I tried a few times to pass Dutch Verstappen, but he was putting his car in the right spot the whole time. A very stout defensive driver he is, and yeah, nowhere to pass here. I was trying to set my car into a sort of an offset and try and get a run. Got a little bit of a run here onto the back DRS straight, but there's not a lot of space to do anything other than again offset the car. And at this point, it didn't look like there was a move on. However, I put the car there, and Dutch sort of goes a little wide, and that was enough to have myself the inside line. Tiny amount of contact there, but I think there was space on the outside for that one. And we move up to P11. Still in P11, we got the DRS from Curtis. He goes a little wide though in that sweeping left, and through we go into P10. 9 cars still ahead. We actually get intermediate weather, and we were a bit late on this call. It wasn't too bad though. A couple of cars stayed out, including Quiet Cake on the dry tyres, which was ultimately the incorrect decision. The other one to do so was Mad Mac, the same lap as I passed Quiet. Later in the lap, he fell victim to all of us on the inters as well. It was worth a roll of the dice, I believe, for those guys. It could have gone either way with this light rain. But down the inside we go, and up now to P6, which is a complete turnaround from earlier in the race. Have another look at the alternate view of the pass on Mad Mac. Not a place you see too many moves made. In fact, this track you don't see too many moves made in the forward direction, let alone the reverse direction, where turn 1, or the equivalent on the main straight, is not so easy to make that pass. Jetman, he goes a bit sideways through the gravel there. Unfortunate for him to lose a couple of positions. And then I'm onto the back of the second Alpine of Jaden Squires, making my own mistakes here. Unfortunately, I didn't have the pace to keep up with him in the dry, only in the wet was I quick. In fact, he comes out after we go back to the dry tyres just in front of me. Nigel was 8 seconds back, but he hauled me in that entire 8 seconds before this safety car with only a few laps left, where we all jumped onto the soft compound tyre, of course. And Dutch actually stayed out on the mediums, so I really thought I had to make this move pretty quick, and indeed he didn't get much of a launch on the restart. He's already drawn around the outside, a little bit of contact, but I go around the outside and he loses the grip there. I don't know if that was contact with me again or if he just lost it. And there goes my teammate, really unfortunate on the last lap. He has multiple collisions, I believe, with the cars in front. Get a little bit of a snap there with a few corners left and gives Nigel one final chance. He does sort of push me around this last turn, but there was no harm done. And off towards the finish we go, in quite a lovely P4 actually. But I have to thank everyone once again for encouraging me to come back. It's been a tough year for me, but really good to see everyone again. I've been Jacko, and I'll see you next time.